Do men really need younger women? I know that this is quite a controversial topic, but as a professional matchmaker with over a decade of practical experience in introducing singles, I can honestly tell you that many men are way too obsessed with the age of a woman. For example, a man is 36 and he wants to date younger, so we discuss with him that we will be introducing him with women in the age group 26 up till 33. So they will be younger and we will only consider for the interviews women from this age group. But of course we won't be focusing only on age. We will be focusing on similarity in long-term goals, values, desire to have or not to have kids, timing, when do these women want to have kids, just like our client within the next 3 to 5 years or in 10 years, which doesn't work for our client. What is their attitude to marriage, to gender roles in a relationship, attitude to money? And of course during these interviews we will pay attention if a woman has showed interest in our client, which questions she was asking, her reaction to his photos. If she finds him cute, it's a good start, because if she didn't like his photo like at all for whatever reasons, this is not a good start. Of course sometimes we manage to truly get to a person explaining that this is just aesthetic image. You have to meet in person, and then in person, wow, people really like each other, because photo it's aesthetic image, and when you meet offline you see the full personality, the way a person talks, the way he or she reacts to your jokes, his sense of humor, like is he speaking like with this very low or very high voice, does he speak like very fast, or for example he's very calm? What is his reaction to you, like body language, even like the smell? So many tiny factors that help you build the whole first impression. And usually when we interview ladies in this age group that we have discussed with the client, let's say like in our example 26 up till 33, we don't pay much attention whether she is 26 or for example 31. She fits the age group, and we look for compatibility and for the chances that she will actually choose our client back, that they will have things in common, that they will share this and that, what are their dreams like, how they see the future, how they usually spend their free time, whether both of them are soft-spoken, whether they describe having a relationship in a very similar way. But very often, for many men, age is the crucial thing when they see the profile of a potential match. For example, if she is 26, out of a sudden he believes that she will be perfect. She will be just everything he wants because she is 26. And if, for example, she is 31, 32 or 33, so the upper border of the age group that we have discussed with the client, he starts looking for faults, and when he goes on dates he's not as attentive, not as witty. Sometimes he even chooses to buy her like cheaper flowers because he believes, she is 32, she should settle for these flowers, and a girl who is 26, I will buy her the best flowers, I will be cracking jokes, I will be on my best behavior. Chemistry is built, but it has to be mutual desire to build this chemistry. You have to have things in common. You have to come to this date in the right mood with the right attitude, and your date should come with the right mood and the right attitude. And both of you should feel physical attraction. Then you will be capable of building chemistry. And not so long ago, one of our clients who is falling for precisely this mistake. So he aimed for this 26 years old girl because she was 26. So he tried his best on the first date. He got the second date. He tried his best on the second date. He tried his best on the third date. We could tell after the second date that the lady, this 26 years old date, has started losing interest. So first date, she was kind of excited to meet him again. She liked him, she has given really positive feedback. But on the second date, her interest has started to fade, and after 3 dates she honestly told us that she didn't feel long-term chemistry. She believed that he was a bit pushy, because sometimes when she has started talking about her job or how she sees her future, he was correcting her, telling that, oh, you shouldn't do this or you should do that, or I know how to do it best. because he has more experience and also his sense of humor. Like on the first date, she said that they had a good time. She liked the way he looked. But on the second date, when both of them have relaxed a little bit more, she has noticed that she doesn't get most of his jokes, and he was reacting in a really weird way to her jokes. Like she felt it that he kind of overplayed it, so he wanted to be liked and it felt forced and artificial. So after 3 dates, she has decided not to go out with him again. And in his opinion, she was the one. Not because they were truly compatible, not because they have really enjoyed each other's company on these dates, because pretty much he had to do all the talking, all the entertainment on the first 3 dates because he really wanted her to like him. On the other hand, he went on this date with a 32-year-old woman who is still 3 years younger than he is, and she liked him. She actually got all of his jokes. She went out with him on a second date, and she has given even more positive feedback that she really enjoyed the date, and they have talked for 4 hours. When the date lasts 4 hours, you really have things in common and you're really having a good time, because if you're not having a good time, why on earth would you be spending 4 hours with a stranger? And the funny thing is, he also had a good time, because he was smiling when he was talking about this date with this girl, let's call her Anna, and he praised her brains and her beauty. He praised that she actually asked him lots of questions, and they even work in the same field. But after 3 dates that lasted over 3 hours, each one lasted 4 hours, he said that I'm not going to pursue dating Anna. I don't want to mislead her because I believe I liked the previous match better, just because she was 26. We tried to talk our client out of this strategy because you know what? Like really, age is just a number, especially in this case. 32 or 26, your long-term goals align. Your values align, you're looking into the same direction. The first girl didn't like you enough to continue dating you. She was not interested, not because of the age difference, but pretty much like the combination of factors. But the second introduction, she really enjoyed the dates with you. You did too, because if you do not enjoy the date, you wouldn't be spending like 3 to 4 hours. And also the way he was giving feedback, he was smiling. You could tell that he had good time. But again, his obsession with the age, like I should date younger. And the funny thing is, we have introduced him to another lady. She was 27 this time. And when he saw in her profile that she was 27, he was super happy. They went out and she didn't like him during their first date. Why? She couldn't explain it. She said that she wanted to feel something like a sparkle, a signal. It was just not there. Like, she thought that he tried too hard. We have convinced her to go out with him on a second date, because you know what, people usually calm down, relax on the second date. But she was given same feedback that he was really smart and he was a nice guy, but she was just not feeling it. We have introduced him to another lady. Again, we are picking them during the interviews. It's not like we are precisely looking for someone who is 32 or 26. We conduct interviews with women in this age group. Yes, we have tried to interview more ladies who are like 26, 27, 28 to please a client, but the majority of them either didn't like his pictures, it can happen, or didn't show much interest in relocating to his small town, and this was one of important factors because he couldn't relocate, he had a job contract, or they were really turned off by his age, 35, and she's, for example, 26, and she was honestly telling that I'm looking up till 31 maybe. And women in their early 30s, probably because most of them have figured out their priorities, that relationship is a priority, she wants to get married. They were not as picky, not all of them, but most whom we were interviewing regarding the looks, more open-minded. Well, many have showed interest, and again we suggest him to meet a lady who is 32 or for example 31, and we see that he is not super excited, low energy, has poor mood to the date, and the ladies were feeling it. At the end of the date, this man has sabotaged all of his dates with women who were older than 27. Probably it was his bad luck or maybe just his fate, but all women who were 26 and 27, and we have introduced him to 7 women who were either 26 or 27. None of them wanted to build a relationship with him for different reasons, but usually it was just lack of chemistry. They were not feeling it. They couldn't feel that vibe with him. And instead of concentrating on one of the ladies who was in the age group like 30 up till 33, he was pretty much ruining these dates. Or for example, like with Anna, there was another girl who was 33, like they went out on 4 dates. He really liked her, but he was talking about her age, that she's in her 30s, he is in his 30s as well. I should date someone in her 20s, like 26 is so much better than 32 or 33. Why? Look for compatibility. Yes, you have to be looking for someone who is at the same stage in life, who has similar long-term goals, similar values. If you want to have children, you have to be looking for someone who will be willing to have children with the guy your type. Because just because she wants to have children doesn't mean that she will be willing to have them just with anyone. And he went through a matchmaking process. We have conducted for him extra dates with both women who were like 26, 27. We even got him an introduction with a woman who was 25. He was super excited about this and has claimed she will be the one, but again, she didn't like him after 2 dates. And women in their early 30s, they were vibing with him. They liked him. They liked his sense of humor. They found him attractive. They shared things in common. You know what? Just a few years and such a big difference. But when you are really young, like 25, 26, it's just several years after college, after university. Probably these women needed a couple of years to be introduced to life more, or maybe it was just not meant to be. I remember once we had a 39-year-old client and he actually didn't want to date someone below 28, so he wanted to date someone in the age group 30 up till 35. And then we have met this 26-year-old girl and we straight away thought about our client and we have convinced him to go out with her because they were so similar in the way they saw a relationship, family, gender roles in the family, life in general, even their eating habits. And we have convinced them to actually meet. She was a bit skeptical that he was that much older. He was a bit skeptical that she was that much younger. But they ended up getting married and they are still happily married for 7 years already. So when you want to date younger, I get it. You want to have children, and there is this stereotype that in a relationship a man should be at least several years older because he should be wiser, smarter, etc. Of course, it's just a stereotype. But don't pay so much attention to the age. It doesn't matter if she is 26 or 31, if your values, long-term goal align, if she can choose you back for all the right reasons. Don't miss great candidates just because you believe the younger the better. The funny thing is, when you look at these women, for example, she is 26 or 32, sometimes you can't even tell who is 26 or who is 32 because they all are young and a lot depends on the type of beauty you find attractive. But a man from this example and some other our clients, they fall for the number. They think that just because she is 26, it automatically means that she is more attractive, more compatible with me. No. I hope it was helpful and I hope you won't fall for this mistake. My name is Svetlana Mucha. I am the founder, the leading matchmaker and dating coach at Diolli.com boutique matchmaking service. Right now is the time to press like, to subscribe to our channel. If you want to learn more about our matchmaking and coaching programs, there will be the link below this video. You can apply for a complimentary consultation with a matchmaker. If you like the content that we create for you, you can support our channel by becoming a sponsor. I wish you lots of love.